Please, can we start with a fitness update? Is Victor Gyökeres going to be available? And if he's not, what's the problem that he has?
No, he's definitely not available. He hasn't trained today, and we need to do some more tests and scans in the next few days to understand the extent of the injury, but this game is not available.
This game with Slavia Prague is the third midweek game you have in these last 3 weeks. How do you balance wanting to possibly rotate the squad with a hard away game in the Champions League, but also dealing with the injuries you have as well?
Yeah, that's a situation that we've been dealing now for a few weeks, and trying to have the right freshness, the right cohesion within the team. The team has been competing really well in all different competitions, and tomorrow we know that we have a really tough match here. They are unbeaten here at home all season. Is a team that they are very used to playing together. They have a very clear philosophy. They create a massive atmosphere as well, so we know there's going to be a really tough match.
It's now been announced that your Carabao Cup quarter-final is going to be played on the 23rd of December, which is just 2 days after you have a Premier League match. We spoke to Leandro Trossard, just the difficulties of that, but how challenging is it for you to prepare a team in such a short turnaround?
Yeah, well, hopefully then they will move our Premier League match, because to play 2 days later doesn't make any sense, obviously. So we will now decide the date. I'm sure they will change the Premier League date as well.
Sam from Sky.
Hi, Mikel. Just on Victor, are you concerned about it, or is it a short-term issue for him?
No, I am concerned because he hasn't had many muscular issues, and he had to leave the pitch, and he was feeling something, and that's obviously never a good sign, especially for a player that it's very, very explosive. So we are digging in a little bit more to understand where we are in terms of the injury, and we'll announce the moment we know more.
Yeah, on better news, if you keep a clean sheet tomorrow, you equal a club record for the most consecutive clean sheets in a row. How would you describe the mentality and the you like the word aura a lot, the aura about how your team defends in particular moments? Well,
very good at the moment, obviously. I think the collective organisation is very, very strong, and then the individual behaviours of players to defend with such an energy, intelligence and aggression every ball, obviously something that has been key for our success. Yeah, and how important has Gabriel Heinze been to that? Because you see the videos online, he's quite intense with that backline, the way he gets them into a huddle before the game. What's the impact he's had on this team? It's the whole team. Obviously, every member of staff, every player brings something to the table. That's something extremely collective when you talk about the numbers that you're talking, and everybody has to bring his piece. Gabi's done it, all the coaches do the same, and especially the players who at the end have to execute what we want.
Ed from The Guardian.
Hi, Mikel. Just to clarify on the Carabao Cup then, so have you made a request to the Premier League to have your game moved then officially?
I leave that to the club. I think we're very clear where was the best thing, the most logical day to play. They bring a different date, so I'm sure we'll have to adapt to that.
But if you do have to play it, do you think it's the sort of thing that could really be a disadvantage for you in the long run over the course of the season, because, 2 games in 3 days?
I think, as I said earlier, I'm sure we will apply the principles of, first of all, is the players, then is the supporters, and then the times that we need to have equality and the same chances for every club. So hopefully it will be fair.
Charlie from The Sun.
Mikel, could you ask you about Victor? How is he in himself? I mean, he must be gutted. I mean, he's carried on. He's battled through, started to make a difference, had his best 45 minutes for the club, and now this. I mean, how is he?
Well, obviously he was very disappointed after the match with what he felt, but this is part of football. At the end, if you expect a linear line, everything going up, it's not going to happen. And if he's got something, he's going to have to deal with it. We'll help him to do that. As you said, he was in a really good moment, in a really good form. It's very important for the team. But for tomorrow, we don't have him. So that's it.
Isan Delima.
Hi, Mikel. It's just Arsenal into Milan in this competition that have yet to concede this season in the Champions League. How impressive is that, and how much of a good start has that been the foundations to everything else?
Yes, of course, it's a huge platform to win games, and the difficulty of that in this competition, and when you are playing away, even more so. We know that tomorrow we're going to face a really good challenge here, and it's a team as well that they are very intense, very direct, very vertical, and we're going to have to be really good to achieve what we want.
And just one on the Carabao Cup fixture. You guys obviously wanted it for December 16th, and it's now December 23rd, it looks like. Even though with the squad depth you've got at Arsenal, how concerning is it that, despite the schedule and the fixtures, that you could potentially be forced to play 2 in 3 days? Does this not concern you, despite the depth?
We have 7 players out, so I don't know what depth we're talking about now, because we're missing a lot of players and a lot of front players. So if we continue to do that every 3 days, we won't be respecting, again, what we discussed previously, that in our opinion it's the most important part.
Art?
Hi, Mikel. Just on Victor, you said it was a muscular issue. Which muscle is it? What part of the body?
I leave that to the doctors. They will explain. I don't want to talk anymore. We are here to talk about tomorrow's match and the players that are available, and we'll see in the next week or so.
Okay, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain was back at the training ground with the academy. I was just wondering if you could speak about what you remember of him as not just a player, but as a person, and what he could bring.
Top character, one of the best characters I met in football. If we can to help him, we can give him the space for him to get up to speed and have the capacity to find a club. It's a joy. The boys will learn from it. I had the privilege to play with him, and if he's around, it will be a really good role model to have around the team.
Tom?
Hi, Mikel. No Zubimendi tomorrow because obviously he's suspended. Declan Rice is 1 yellow card away from a suspension. He's obviously a player so vital to how you play, and your next Champions League game will be Bayern Munich at home. How much is that figuring into the gamble of selecting Declan for the game?
Yeah, but it comes as well with a situation of Subi. We know that Subi was on 2 yellows as well. So that's the competition. At some point, you might miss players in crucial games. Obviously, we're going to try to avoid that as much as possible, but it's part of the competition.
And can I just quickly ask about Christian Norgard as well? As obviously had restricted time because of his injury at the start of the season, and how consistent Zubimendi has been. He might get an opportunity tomorrow. What's he been like? He's an experienced player, a really valuable part of your squad. So what's his experience been so early in his career at Arsenal?
Exceptional. I knew very clear the role that he was going to have, what he could add to the team. Is exactly doing that. I think he was in a really good moment before he got injured. Then it took him a while, again, as is normal, to get up to speed. And now he's having some more minutes, and he's available for tomorrow.
Okay, we'll do the last two. Firstly, Sam from the Telegraph, and then from Czechia there. So.
Hi, Mikel. You touched on it there, that the injuries are kind of concentrated in the forward area. And then last year it felt like it was the same. It was always defenders at once and then forwards at once. I know you can't predict individual injuries and they're all different circumstances, but is there any sort of pattern here as to why you think, or the doctors think, it happens in one area of the squad so frequently?
Well, we looked at everything. Obviously, we have 4 knees with Gabi Jesus, Kai Havertz, Madueke and Martin Odegaard, which is very, very unusual, all of them with long term. And then we have some muscular injuries with other players, which it can happen, and every club is having. I think it's very unusual to have that many players in the front line with issues. We have to face it. We've been facing it in a brilliant way, and we'll continue like this.
Okay, finally, gentleman here, yeah.
Hello, Mikel. Good evening. My name is Jiří. I'm a local journalist. I have a maybe more personal question, because you are in Prague, so I was wondering if you are in touch with Tomáš Rosický, your former teammate, former colleague from the team, your friend, maybe to ask some advice about Slavia, maybe to arrange a meetup tomorrow somewhere in the city or something.
Yeah, we'll try to see him. Yeah, we had a great time together. Again, I always said it. Tomáš is one of my favorite players, the ones that I play with. And if I have the chance tomorrow and he's available, we will see each other, give each other a hug, and talk a little bit about football.
Hi, Leon. You started the last 6 Premier League games. You've got 6 goal involvements in 12 appearances this season. Is this some of the best football of your career you're playing at the moment?
It's hard to answer that. I'm just happy with my contributions at the moment. I think I'm in a good moment as well with the team. Everything is going well, so I hope I can continue my form and also the form with the team.
There's a lot of talk this season about Arsenal being favourites in most, if not all, the competitions they're in. Is there a different feeling in the squad this season?
Not so much a different feeling. I think in the last couple of years we have been challenging for the title as well, and we have the same mindset this season as well. we want to win it, and we know how hard it is. But I think we're on the right track, and still a long way to go. But we want to win every game, and that's our thought before every game as well, our mindset, and yeah, that's how we need to approach it.
Cool. Art.
Hi, Leah. I wasn't at the Burnley game, but one of my colleagues was, and she said she noticed you were leading the team's huddle as they came out for the second half. I think a lot of people would assume, I guess, the more vocal leaders are maybe Big Gabby, Declan, other players in the group, but is that something you see as, I guess, in your personality as well? And yeah, how often do you kind of lead those moments?
I think it's a bit more about feeling. On the pitch, I'm always quite vocal, I would say. I always try to help my teammates, and it helps myself as well if you speak on the pitch and in certain situations. And I think it's important, and in some games it's more necessary than another. And then it was a tough away game, and that's why I knew how hard it would be. And at the end, yeah, we won that game and another clean sheet, so we were really happy with that.
Would that just come out of you in the moment when you get into the huddle? It's not really something people decide who's going to speak?
Sometimes it is, but yeah, everyone can speak. Everyone can have that chat if he wants to or if he feels to. And I just felt like I had something to say about the game and how we needed to approach it, and that's why I did it.
And I just had one more, which is a bit more nerdy. I hope that's okay. But I noticed that this season the long sleeves are back for the player issue shirts, and I noticed you wear them quite often.
Yeah.
Is it for a more nostalgic kind of look, or do you just prefer them to short sleeves?
I always like them, to be fair. Obviously, they've been away in football, I think, for a long while. But when I was younger, I wore them as well. So I was really happy when they were back, and that's why I wear them. I just like the fit of them. And as you said, it's also a bit nostalgic as well.
Ihsan.
Hi, Leo. Since you joined Arsenal under Mikel Arteta, I think you're the most played player he's had in the current squad. How have you achieved that, and how have you kind of forged that relationship with Mikel where he trusts you so much to play you in so many games?
First of all, I think by trying to keep fit for that period, I think that helps a lot. And yeah, obviously giving back to him by my performances and the team. It's hard to pinpoint things, but yeah, I like it a lot that he trusts me as well. And on the pitch, I try to give back to the manager and the team.
In this squad, you're now one of the more older players and a senior statesman in some ways, even though you're not an old man yourself. What's that kind of role like for you in the squad, and how do you kind of take to that?
I don't think my role has changed a lot from, for example, last year. Obviously, the personality each player has, that won't change, but obviously you try to help the younger lads a little bit more, to welcome them, to speak a bit more. And other than that, I think everyone is speaking with each other, trying to help each other. I think we have that culture now in the team where Mikel, he's the one who invented that culture within the squad, and yeah, I think that's a good thing.
Tom?
Hi, Leo. The squad's obviously really deep this season, but it doesn't mean that also you haven't had to deal with a lot of injuries in the group, and we've noticed that Victor Gyökeres might not be with you for this game, and that means 3 centre-forwards out. You've played that centre-forward position in this half. What is it for you that has to change in your role when you have to move more centrally in that position?
Yeah, depending on the game, it's a big change as well. It also depends on the game state and what the manager wants me to do. So it's hard to say how I would play or gonna play, but yeah, it's all on the game plan.
And while you're in the air, the news dropped that Arsenal's game against Crystal Palace is going to be played on the 23rd of December, just 2 days after your trip to Everton. It seems more often we're seeing having players playing within these short timeframes. As a player, having to play 2 games in 3 days. What is that like on you, on your body, and how do you respond to that?
Yeah, obviously, it's not ideal. I think a lot of players have spoken about this before, and I think I can speak for myself in that way as well, that ideally that's not the case. we already have a tough schedule with a lot of games, and if you play 2 games in 3 days, recovery-wise, first of all, and then obviously, yeah, fans. It's not easy to travel always, but yeah, at this moment you just have to deal with it, I guess, and that's what we're gonna do now.
Sam?
Hi, Leo. Just on that issue, it does feel like the players never have a say when you guys are the ones actually doing it and putting your bodies through that. Is that how you feel? And if so, how frustrating is that?
Yeah, indeed, I would say so. Obviously, it's up to the people who make the calendar at the start of the year. I think they should know that these kind of things can happen, and with a lot of players already mentioning that there are a lot of games, I think they should, but we're now in this phase where it hasn't been. So yeah, as I said, that we need to deal with it at this point, and hopefully we can make the best out of it.
And just lastly on that issue, if you play twice in 3 days, is the game going to be any good? I mean, are you going to be sharp? Is it going to be entertaining? Is it
Hopefully.
what people want?
Yeah, that's up to us then. Obviously, we want to win every game, and we're going to try to win that game as well. We want to get further in the cup as well, but yeah, it's not ideal, definitely. But then it's up to the players to recover well, to use every tool there is to be ready and to play that game.
Go to Charlie at the front. Yeah.
Hi. Last season, when Mikel was singing your praises, I think he meant it in a nice way, but he did say you could be a bit grumpy. Mm-hmm. Was that sort of during when you're not playing, or are you a bit grumpy quite a lot of the time?
I don't think so. I think I was playing at that moment. I think that more about even in training or whatever. When I lose a game, I can quite upset, or I just have the mentality I want to win everything. If it's football or not, if it's games at home where I play with my family, my kids, whatever. So I think it's a bit there, and I would moan about if they are the referee in training, I would tell them off as well. So I think that's a bit why you would say it, but that's just my personality, and I think nothing is wrong with that.
But all good teams, all great teams need people with this type of attitude to keep players on their toes. I mean, Roy Keane was an obvious example at Manchester United, just to set the standards high and just to maybe keep their teammates on their toes. Do you think you sort of do that sort of thing?
Maybe, yeah, I do. I think everyone needs to be on their toes, especially at this club. It's such a big club, so much good players who can play, so everyone needs to be sharp.
Sam.
Hi, Leo. Just following on from Tom's question about playing number 9, given how you've started the season so well on the left, playing and starting more matches than perhaps last season at this stage, what do you see as now as your preferred position?
I think at the moment it's left wing position. At least had some consistency there now. I think I've showed that as well on the pitch, and but yeah, I'm always available to play any kind of position in the front position. So if the manager wants me to play there, I'll play there, and I will try to do my best.
Yeah, a lot has been made about the fullbacks and the positions they take up. Sometimes you see Ricky Calafiori playing as a striker at times. How does that affect you as a winger? And have you ever had that before in your career, fullbacks playing in those positions for a team?
No, that's Ricky though. I think I think that's one of his strengths as well. He pops up everywhere. Is it in the pockets as a striker? He has scored some great goals already. So I think that unpredictability of him can hurt teams as well. And I have a good relationship with him at the moment, so I know what he can do and where he can pop up in what positions. So sometimes I can play a ball blind to him, and I know he will be there.
Yeah, what's the difference between playing with him and playing with Miles, who you probably played with a bit more last season?
Yeah, they're just two different type of players. I think Miles will be more set in his position, going into midfield, where he's so strong and so good on the ball. Once he gets his body between the ball and the opponent, I think no one can get it off him. And also he's yeah, he can develop a lot more now. He's so young still, but he has a great future ahead of him.
And we'll do the last question with Gary.
Yeah, I could just ask, obviously in the summer you signed an improved deal, but would you like to kind of stay beyond 2027? Would you like to sign the new deal beyond that?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, I still have 2 years left, and then we will see what the club wants as well. Where do they see me? Where I am at that point. But I'm loving life at Arsenal. I'm really happy to be here. It's such a great club. Obviously, we are in a really good moment, and I hope I can win things with Arsenal.
Cool. We'll end it there. Mikel's not far behind. Thank you, guys.